Really quick, before we get into this video today, a reminder, make sure to check out my very good friend, Aaron. You know his channel, Texas Silver. He just posted a video today, and we were having a conversation earlier about, people putting hundreds of thousands of dollars in the bank, believing that that money down the road is going to be able to service their financial needs, that it is going to be an inflation hedge. And people are making huge mistakes. Number one, putting all their money in the bank. Secondly, believing that their money is going to be worth something down the road. And he was just talking on this video about, why he believes in precious metals, and why you shouldn't have all your money in the bank, and why you should not have all of your wealth in cash, and that you should really be thinking about maybe looking at silver and gold. And that's up to you. I don't give financial advice, but check the video out. Aaron, he talks from the heart. He speaks from the heart, and it's something to think about. Why do we have all of our money in the bank? Why do we believe that the dollar is going to be here maybe 5 or 10 years from now? We don't know, but when you look at what's happening with the BRICS nations and the threat to the US dollar, maybe the dollar will be here, but how much purchasing power will it have versus these new currencies that quite possibly will be backed by gold? So check out Texas Silver. Check out his video today. He speaks from the heart. I think you'll get something from it. It's Wednesday, July 17th, 2024. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's an honor, it's a privilege to talk with all of you on a daily basis. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. I want to get right into it today. Dow Jones continues to be on a tear, all-time highs. NASDAQ pulled back about 512 points today, but look, at the end of the day, markets are at all-time highs. Things are roaring. You're watching a historic melt-up, one that I think is going to end in tragedy, one that really reminds me of the 1929 crash. You've got to ask yourself, how in the world are these markets surging the way that they are? When you look at the uncertainty in this country, when you look at the debt, the deficits, the manufacturing, the type of jobs people are working, how many jobs people are working, the inflation problem, it just goes on and on and on. And yet we're supposed to believe that these markets are just going up to historic highs based on what? Based on what other than the chance of a rate cut in September. Now, I want to get into some of these articles today that I printed out. Please comment on any of these. The first one from the Wall Street Journal. This came out a couple days ago. Eviction surge in major cities in the American Sun Belt. We're told every day that things are great. Eviction filings over the past year in 6 cities and surrounding metropolitan areas are up 35%. Las Vegas, Houston, Phoenix. Landlords have filed more than 8,000 eviction notices in January. The most ever in a single month. Years ago, I said, don't laugh at these homeless people who have nice apartments, nice houses now, driving a nice car. They're going to be in trouble at some point, and they're going to be facing the possibility of being homeless. And when you look at these eviction numbers in these areas, it is absolutely skyrocketing. Do you think every one of these people has a family or a church to fall back on? What if they don't? Where do they go? You know where they go. They hit the streets. They're homeless. And you're going to see more and more people in America have to face reality that they're going to be homeless. And it's really, really sad because we're giving money to everybody else, but we got people now being evicted, living on the streets, people now that have to rely on some type of charity or government assistance just to barely get by. Not good. Here's another one today from the Hedge. Auto Insider warns more Americans fell behind on car payments as repos soar 23%. Yes, 23%. It says here, the day of reckoning has arrived for millions who purchased vehicles with crazy high monthly payments that they can no longer afford. You go back to 2021, 22, the free money was flowing, trillions of dollars injected into the economy. People didn't have to go to work. They didn't have to pay rent. They didn't have to pay mortgages. So what did they do? Well, they went out and bought cars. They went out and partied. They went out and bought things that they really couldn't afford. Most people didn't put the money away. Most people didn't buy tangible hard assets like gold and silver. No, they went out and bought a Dodge Charger, maybe a Challenger, whatever. And now they're in big, big trouble. Repos have surged 23% in the first half of 2024. Up 20, they were going up last year. Now they're up another 23%. It says here, rent and shelter, insurance, food are forcing people to fall behind. Let me ask you this. When people lose a car, how do they go to work? How do they function in life without a car? Most places, if you live out here, you're not relying on public transportation. Many areas, you really cannot rely on public transportation. You need a car in order to work, in order to function. If you don't have a car, for a lot of people, they're done. They're absolutely done. This is a rude reminder, ladies and gentlemen, of what is happening right now. It's going to get much, much worse because more people are going to lose their jobs. If they cut inflation in September, the Fed cuts, if they cut rates in September, inflation's going to soar, period. If the Fed actually cuts rates in September, you're going to see inflation soar. And if people think it's bad now, it's about to get much, much worse. But these numbers are startling, to say the least. Here's one from wolfstreet.com. Home buyers still on strike even as mortgage rates drop to lowest since March, but refis jumped to highest since August of 2022. Check these articles out, ladies and gentlemen. Mortgage applications to purchase home in the latest week are down 14% year over year. It said in the article, the problem isn't mortgage rates, it's home prices. If you go back, in history, go to the 70s, 7% was a good rate. 7 to 8% is where mortgage rates should be and where they have been. Yes, it was at the early 80s when they got up to like 18% because inflation was skyrocketing. But overall, throughout history, 7, 8% was considered a very, very good deal. It says here, home purchases requiring a mortgage have collapsed by nearly half from the pre-health crisis levels. Anybody telling you that we're not in a housing collapse right now obviously has no idea what is going on. They are completely drinking the Kool-Aid. They could read an article like this in 5 minutes and just look at the data and figure it out very, very quickly. Just look at the statistics in your area. Home sales. We're not talking home prices. We're talking home sales. Forget about home prices. Anybody can ask whatever they want on a house. The question is, can they sell it? How long is it going to be on market? How many more homes are being listed? How many new homes are being built? How many more people will be forced to sell their homes because they've lost a job? A spouse has lost a job. Their Airbnbs are not renting, so they're going to be forced to sell. We've got big trouble in the housing market, in the real estate sector, ladies and gentlemen. It is already collapsed. We're gonna sell about the same amount of homes this year as we did in 2008 during the great financial crisis. Here's another one from wolfstreet.com. It's titled, Retail Sales Excluding Autos and Gasoline Jumped by Most in 18 Months and Pushed Up Atlanta Fed GDP now to 2.5% from 2% last week. In the article, it says retail sales without gasoline and auto sales jumped 0.8% in June from May. Used car sales or used car prices have come way down. Used car sales have come down a bit too, but prices have come down from their peak in 2021 and 2022, that major price spike that we saw. Total retail sales were unchanged in June. And remember, when we look at these GDP numbers, a lot of this is government spending. Why are we looking at a 2.5% GDP now? Most of it is government spending. It's not jobs. It's not people buying stuff, paying more and getting less. It's the government buying stuff, financing wars, making munitions and bombs and things like that. Now, my question is, of course, the Fed will look at the data, and if they see GDP at 2.5%, and we're looking at markets at all-time highs, why in the world is the Fed talking about cutting rates? Stock market all-time highs, GDP going up. Why in the world is the Fed even considering cutting rates? We know that real inflation is not 3%. We know that the Fed is having a very difficult time containing inflation, and they can tell us any number they want to tell us. They can tell us how great things are every day, but at the end of the day, they are losing the fight against inflation. So what other course of action do they have other than let's just cut rates and juice the markets and ride it out and hope for the best? It will be very damaging to the average American. Here's another one from wolfstreet.com. Simon Property Group jettisons another mall to manage its way through the brick and mortar meltdown by shrinking and walking away from debts. Simon Property Group is the largest mall landlord in the United States. They're planning to walk away from another mall and all of the debt, and it is a large amount of debt. The second largest mall in Pennsylvania, the 1.7 million square foot Philadelphia Mills outlet. Simon owes $259 million. Now, who holds this debt? The holders are commercial mortgage-backed securities. Who owns commercial mortgage-backed securities? Well, here's a list. It could be depository institutions. It could be the Fed, international investors, mutual funds, money market funds, Citibank, Wells Fargo, Goldman Sachs, three of the largest contributors to commercial mortgage-backed securities. So maybe your money market funds are in this. Maybe your mutual funds are in this. Maybe your bank is in this. Be very, very careful out there, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of people are in the market and they have no idea where their money really is. As long as things are going up and everybody's riding out this euphoria, people don't really care. They're going to care as we witness this commercial real estate market continue to fall into the abyss, yet people are ignoring it. People are also ignoring this. T-bill and chill. Americans are holding a record $2.4 trillion in treasuries. Do you really, let me ask all of you, please comment down below. I'm not an economist, just asking a question. Do you really want to be holding government debt? Just a question. China dumping T-bills and other BRIC countries. They're unloading billions of dollars of T-bills. And what are they doing? They're buying physical gold. So I don't know. What do you think? Should we be buying U.S. government debt, or maybe be buying something that China and the BRICS nations are buying, physical gold that you can hold for yourself? There's no counterparty risk. I just don't think I trust what's going on here, and I'm certainly not going to be holding any U.S. government debt. I can assure you that. I'd much rather be holding metal, especially gold. Here's another one from The Hedge today. Gold keeps rising no matter what Jerome Powell says. I worry we're on the brink of great conflict. Ray Dalio came out and said that a while back. Let's hope and pray for the best, ladies and gentlemen, while we prepare for the worst. But getting back to this article, gold keeps rising no matter what Jerome Powell says. You got to ask yourself this. Obviously, when we turn on the television, you really can't believe much anymore these days. Have we really avoided financial trouble? Or is it the people on the television in the $3,000 suits who keep downplaying how bad things really are? Now, people will write in the comments, I'm doom and gloom, I'm very negative. I'm just pointing out reality. I'm just pointing out the facts. I'm giving you articles from the Wall Street Journal, CNBC, The Hedge, whoever else these articles come from. I look at the news daily. I don't pick and choose. You're not going to use this journalist or this news source or this news source. I'm just sharing. This is all mainstream right here. for the most part. And we can all come to our own conclusions of what's happening. But most of this news, 80%, 90% of the news I share is all mainstream. But when we turn on the television, are we really getting the real answer? Are they downplaying the danger? Are they downplaying just how bad things really are? Maybe socially, economically. Is inflation really easing? Is inflation really 3%? I would say no. I would say it's not easing and it's not 3%. And ask yourself this. If inflation is easing, if it is going down and the Fed has things under control, why is gold over $2,400 an ounce? Somebody please answer me this. If inflation is going down, things are getting better, why is gold over $2,400 an ounce? Why is every central bank on this globe buying physical gold? They're not buying stocks. They're buying gold. They're not buying cryptos. They're buying gold. Something to think about. Comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on this. Here's one from the Los Angeles Times. Copper wire thieves plunge Los Angeles neighborhood into darkness. This was unbelievable. This came out about a week ago. Entire blocks are going dark in Pico Union, Los Angeles. It's a area of Los Angeles, one of LA's most densely populated areas. It's home to about 40,000 people in a 1.67 square mile area. And just reading this article and skimming through it, people were saying that you cannot walk around here when the lights go out. People will follow you. People will rob you. One gentleman said the lights went out and they were trying to break into his car. He went out there, confronted them, and they pulled a weapon out on him. Extremely dangerous. 25,000 streetlights throughout Los Angeles are broken. That's more than 1 in 10. Theft of copper wire has skyrocketed 800% from 2019 to 2023. Where the F am I living? I thought this was a first world nation. This is unbelievable when you read stuff like this. And somebody will go, you're just so negative, you're so doom and gloom. This is reality. And if you want to share the great news with us, please comment down below. We could all use some good news. But this channel is to wake people up and prepare them and to make sure that they take action, because this stuff's not getting better. It's getting absolutely out of control. 25,000 streetlights in the city of Los Angeles are not working. They're broken. Why? Because they're stealing all the copper wire. Some of you may know the 6th Street Bridge. It's been in a lot of music videos, a lot of rap videos, commercials. If you live in California, you probably know of it. If you don't, you've probably seen it and don't know it. But it had 7 miles of copper wire stolen. I think that was maybe end of last year, early this year. Unbelievable what's happening to our society, isn't it? But this may be too doom and gloom. This may be too negative for a lot of people. For me, it's reality. This is why I train. This is why I did an hour of jiu-jitsu this morning. This is why I'll be doing an hour of boxing on Friday. Did an hour of boxing on Monday. Doesn't mean I'm tough. Doesn't mean I'm the best. It just means that this stuff motivates me to make sure I can take care of myself, that I'm in good physical shape, that, I can operate, I can, defend myself the best to my abilities. And look, again, not the toughest person in the world, not a Navy SEAL, but I refuse to just sit on the couch and allow myself to be a victim, spiritually, socially, or financially. So I'm always trying to make an effort to get in a little bit better shape, to get a little more financially stronger, a little more spiritually stronger, saying my prayers every day and thanking God for everything I have, because I see the homeless people out there. And Ricky texted me earlier today. We're going to try, hopefully, to get back out next week as it's cooled down a little bit, to get out there and feed some more people and feed some more animals. It was so hot last week when we went out. It was 123, so it was really hard to find people out with their dogs or find anybody even out because it was so hot. So we'll try to go back out next week. But, again, what do you think about all this? What do you think about all this? I think it's tragic to see how far we have fallen. But you can't just sit and be reactive. You got to be proactive, ladies and gentlemen, mentally, physically, spiritually, and financially. You've got to be training every day, every way. Cover all the bases. I'm going to leave it there today. God bless every one of you. Thanks for tuning in. And as always, I look forward to speaking to each and every one of you. A lot of things happening. If you turn on the news, there's so much happening right now. Things are really accelerating, and I think they're going to continue to accelerate. So, be careful out there. Be ready for anything. God bless every one of you. Talk soon.